Hi, Professor Wenaina here, your 5 minutes teacher on education, childhood, youth, parenting, and all things school. Welcome. Before a child enters school, they are fearless. They experiment, stumble, and try again without hesitation. But give them a few years in school, and that same child starts hesitating before speaking up and panicking at the sight of a teacher. Where does that fear come from? It isn't natural, it is learned, and school is a culprit. Schools do not set out to deceive children, but they do something far worse. They create an environment where falsehoods about failure, self-worth, and authority entrench themselves so deeply that they are mistaken for truth. These lessons are not in the curriculum, yet every student absorbs them. And unless you as a parent actively intervenes, your child will walk away believing three things that will cripple them for life. That failure is shameful, that their value depends on external approval, and that most adults know what they're talking about. Your child wasn't born afraid of failure. Watch a toddler learning to walk. Falling isn't a setback, it's just part of the process. But school rewrites that instinct. Mistakes get circled in red, wrong answers are punished with bad grades, and failure becomes a stain on a record instead of a step towards learning. Psychologists like Martin Seligman have studied how environments create what he calls learned helplessness. When repeated failures without a chance for constructive recovery make a person stop trying altogether. Schools do exactly this. They don't frame failure as data, as feedback, as an opportunity. They treat it as evidence of deficiency, and children absorb the message that mistakes make you less worthy. Your job then as a parent is to undo that conditioning. Show your child that failure is not a verdict, but a tool. If you don't, school will convince them that mistakes are to be feared, and fear is the death of growth. The second lie is that their worth depends on someone else's approval. School ties success to external validation. It teaches kids to perform for the approval of others. And that lesson seeps into adulthood, where too many people live their lives chasing validation from bosses, from peers, and from social media. And this is no accident. The school system was designed in an era that valued obedience over originality. It trains children to seek permission before taking action, to wait for recognition instead of recognizing themselves. A student who questions a teacher is labeled disruptive. A student who follows the rules is labeled good. The measure for self-worth in school is compliance. If you do not dismantle this illusion, your child will grow into an adult who is incapable of making decisions without external reassurance. Teach them to ask themselves, did I do my best? Did I improve? Am I proud of my effort? Before seeking anyone else's approval. Thirdly, children enter school believing adults are competent. School then gladly reinforces the belief students are expected to take what they are told at face value, to trust teachers, and to believe that everyone who is bigger than them must be right. This is a dangerous lie for your child to take in. You know, and you know, most adults do not know what they are talking about. Not because they are malicious, but because they are human. Teachers have knowledge gaps and do make mistakes. Experts contradict each other. And yet, school does not train children to question, to verify, or to think critically. It trains them to accept, regurgitate, and obey just because it came from an adult. If you do not teach your child to confidently challenge adult authority, they will grow up being puppets of people who know no better than them. Let them see you question things, encourage them to check facts, challenge assumptions, and seek multiple perspectives. Schools produce followers. You must raise a thinker. Schools don't teach these lies deliberately, but they teach them effectively. If you are not actively countering them, your child will absorb them without resistance. They will fear failure, they will seek approval like a beggar, and they will trust authority without question. This will shape their lives more than any subject they study. That is the real education they are receiving. And if you do not teach them otherwise, no one else will. Thank you for your time. See you in the next lesson.